Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Custom Wood Crafts. Today let's talk about sandpaper. A lot of people wonder which is the right sandpaper to use. What situations do you use the sandpaper you're going to choose in? I guess what we'll do is we'll start with the grits, and I'll show you that right now. 80 is one of the roughest you're going to use. 120, 150, 180, and 220. 220 is for finishing mainly like hardwoods. Something like pine like this, you wouldn't use 220. What would happen is it would gum this up so bad, this thing would last probably like 2 minutes. So you want to stick with lower grits when it comes to something like pine. You want to stay more like 80, 120, 150, maybe 180. Also, belt sanding belts also come in the same grits. They go from 80 to 100 to 120, 180, and they can go up. I usually don't use anything much more than a 180 for a sanding belt. Okay, then you have your sanding papers. Here's like sheets of like drywall sanding sheets, or you can use this for any type of wood, more or less a hardwood. This is B150 and they're pre-cut. This one right here is a 220. These aren't pre-cut, and then you have extra fine at 320 for sanding basically in between coats. And these can be cut on a sanding cutter jig, which you can make out of two pieces of wood, a piano hinge in the middle. Take an old hacksaw blade, screw it to the edge. That works out awesome for this homemade sandpaper cutter. These also come in all different grits from 80, even less than 80, probably 50 and up, and to wherever you want to go with it. There's also stick sheets like this that come in a roll. They're sticky backed. You can put this over a block of wood. Just tear it off. Put it on, stick it around. And right there you have a fairly quick makeshift sanding block. So that'll work in a pinch. This would be like an in-between coat sanding situation. Also, they have these little 3M, they're like soft, spongy sanding blocks. They'll contour around something. If you're pressing it around like a radius, a round over. This is a small one. This is a fine. Then you have some more mediums. This one's kind of used a lot. But yeah, this one also will contour, and you can use the edges. And then also they have a finer and they have more coarse. So these are different options you can use. Um, your thinner one, or your finer ones, I should say, are always for like a finishing. Your coarser ones are always for like a pine or contouring or trying to work out a scratch. And when you work out a scratch, you always got to go in the direction of the grain, and you can just kind of work it. You can use the edge or whatever you want to use. And there's also various types of sanders. This is a random orbital sander. When you're sanding with this one, what it does is it spins in such a way that it's almost like a slight oval. And what that does is it helps hide scratches in the wood, but it still makes little scratches in the wood. This is what it looks like when you turn it on. Okay, this sander is just a pad sander. This does the least amount of damage to wood. It's the easiest if you're just starting. And the second would be the random orbital sander. That's fairly easy to use. This pad sander, you just stick one of these pre-cut sheets on it, like one of these pre-cut sheets, and it's pretty easy to use. Then you have a belt sander, like this Porter cable, and this thing is pretty aggressive. You can use different belts like we talked about in all different grits. This is a very directional, specific sander. You have to go constantly with the grain. When you're trying to work out a bad dent or something, you can go across the grain, but then you have to go back with the grain till all the scratches are removed, and then go back at it with the random orbital. So it's a process with this. This is not so much for a beginner, but it works very well when you know how to use it and you practice with it. When you're using even a random orbital, a lot of people will say, oh, you don't have to worry about going back and forth like this because it's random. You can go back and forth, you can go any which direction. And that's true to an extent. But after doing this for several years and working in a spray booth years ago, I kind of know that it is kind of specific to go one direction, and it helps. So when you sand something like this, I'll kind of demonstrate what I find is the best way to do it. You want to make slow back and forth movements. You want to let the sander do the work. You don't want to push on the sander or work an edge. You want to just glide it and let it do its work. If there's something you can't get out, then you'll switch to a different grit. A rougher grit will help get it out, but then you have to go back to a fine grit to make it a nicer finish. When you're sanding something that's stained like this and has a couple of coats of finish on it, whether it be polyurethane or whatever you're using at the time, what you want to do is you want to take a block of this finished sandpaper in 320, or you want to take like a block that we talked about with sticky back 320, and you want to sand this. Just go over it, and you got to keep it in the same direction as the grain. Keep going over it. And what you're doing is you're taking that last coat of finish that you put on there, the varnish or polyurethane, whatever you're using, and you're knocking it down a little bit to get that nice and smooth. And you want to just go over it, nice even strokes. And then what you can also do is you can take this fine sanding block and you can hit these radius edges, because remember, this will contour to the edge. If you do this and you repeat it between coats, you also need a tack cloth when you do this. You can get tack cloths. I don't think I have any at this time. Just a little tacky cloth comes in a clear bag, or rip it open, and that gets all this fine powder off. This fine powder, you don't want it on there because that'll make your next coat bad again, and you'll have to keep sanding it. There'll be no end to it. So you want to get that tack cloth out, and you want to get this free of dust and free of little pieces of grit in between sanding from the previous sandpaper. Get that all cleared away, and you'll have an excellent finish. So this basic part of sanding and sandpapers is pretty much concluded, and I appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that subscribe button for more awesome tips and ideas that we can do together and I can share with you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like. You guys are awesome. Thanks for watching.